Odion turned out to be better than we expected. Welcome back to Market Watch. Hey guys, Otaka here, back with another Market Watch, and today we're going to be primarily talking about the Odion cards. So Maze of the Master, for the most part, was a pretty underwhelming set. The obvious chase card was 7th Tachyon for Ryzeal, but there were a couple little surprises in here. Before we do jump on into the Market Watch, I have noticed that a great deal of you that are watching this video right now are not currently subscribed to the channel. So if you like competitive-based content, market watches, and in-depth guides, consider subscribing to the channel for more. Also, don't forget to leave a like on this video and leave a comment down below if I missed a card that maybe is going up or needs to be talked about. All right, so the theme of today is definitely going to be the Odion cards and cards relating to the deck, because that deck has pretty much made a lot of cards just skyrocket in price, some of which are commons. But I real quick want to talk about two particular subsections of cards that, because of the impending ban list that is probably, in my personal opinion, going to be at YCS Houston, we're seeing a massive dip in Ryzeal and Maliss cards. So if you want to play these decks, because the ban list is not going to kill these decks. There's no way in hell they're going to kill them. There's not even like that big of a chance that they hit a Ryzeal or a Maliss card directly. They're probably going to do what they did with Snake Eyes, and for the first ban list after release, they're going to kind of slap it on the wrist. So again, if you want to pick these decks up, now is the time, because they are kind of at their cheapest. I just picked up the whole deck for like $100. This deck for Ryzeal is really cheap. I have both Maliss and Ryzeal now, and I've paid pretty much nothing for Ryzeal. X is about $10 a piece. Sword, again, $10 a piece. Ice, $11. The only card that's really been going up in price is Detonator. Detonator on release was like $2, and now he's up to 10 himself. You do kind of need two of them, preferably, but overall, like, that's not bad. The only reason he's seeing a skyrocket in price is because he's a Metal Tronus target for Maliss. So, other than that, like the three ofs, the bad boys, the sword, the X, and the ice, affordable. They are, in total, if you are paying the highest price possible, you're paying $90 for 3 copies of each. And you don't even technically need 3 copies of sword, because he's usually a 2 of. Unless you want max rarity, then these cards haven't gone down at all. But overall, like, if you want to pick up Ryzeal, now's the time. Same for Maliss. Maliss is kind of been like super low budget, because most of the cards are super rares. Only a handful of them are actually ultra rares. Now where Maliss gets really expensive is obviously in the max rarity, but we're not talking about that. So for the White Rabbit, $26. This card was $50 like 2 weeks ago. So if you want to pick up Maliss, now's the time. Same for like the Field Spell. This card was about $35. It's down to $23, $24. That ain't bad. And then the Trap card, MTP, this card's never been that expensive because it's a one of, so it's like $1. So other than that, like, and the links are all super rares. Cat is super, Dormouse is super. The other 2 traps are super rare. GWC comes default rare, but can come in super rare, which you will be paying like $3, but it's a one of again, so it's like not that much. Again, if you really want to be playing like Maliss or Ryzeal this format, pick them up now, because these decks are not dying on this ban list. They're not even going to really feel it. And even if they do feel it, Alliance Insight is right around the corner, and these decks are going to skyrocket in playability again. Like, Maliss is going to be getting the Adignisters, and it's going to be getting March Hare. Ryzeal is going to be getting Star and that other trap card, I believe, or spell card. I don't remember what the other card was. Star is kind of the highlight for those. So, like, pick these decks up now if you want to play them. I have 2 other cards I want to talk about before we do jump into the Odion related cards. Is Prey of Jirai Gumo. Like, this is by no means an expensive card. It's at best like 11 cents a piece, 12 cents a piece. However, it has seen a slight spike in pricing, because this card was like a nickel like 2 weeks ago. However, this has some fun little playability with the Canine archetype, because it is, as you can see here, a level 5. It is a free special, and it kind of just blows up cards in the column it's summoned to. So that's pretty cool. It has the ability to just kind of have some interactability against your opponent and also get a body on the board. If you're looking for like penny stonks, this is kind of like a good card to start. Like I said, this was like 5 cents a piece. You can probably get away with selling, you know, your bulk. If you opened a lot of Maze of Memories, like, you probably have a bunch of bulk of this. I know I do. You can probably easily make like a couple bucks off this card depending on how many copies you have. So yeah, just something to keep in mind as well if you're going to be playing Canine. Maybe consider picking these up. Again, it's not expensive at all, so you could still end up picking it up like right now when it's at its highest. And the last card before we get into Odion is Singularity Fiend. Came out in Maze of the Master. This card is not expensive. It is only like $2. However, this card is a good card. For those who don't know what this card does, when your opponent special summons a monster, except during the damage step, you can discard this card and one spell, destroy that monster. That's a good card. There's a lot of people saying like this can be played in Sky Striker when Sky Striker gets its last inkling of support, whenever that is. There's just a lot of decks that could play this. Obviously, like Ubel could play this. There's a lot of decks that can just play this card. It is a good card. And it's a secret rare from Maze of the Master. I would highly recommend, even if it doesn't ever see play, better safe than sorry, right? You're paying at most $3-4 for this card. You know, maybe get over the $5 threshold by a couple pennies, like, you know, Preya Dry Gumo or something. But I highly would recommend just, you know, paying a $5 bill, pick up a playset of this just in case it ever does become playable. Because, again, it is a secret rare, and because it just came out, we won't be seeing a reprint of it for a while. So if it ever does become playable in, like, the next year, it might spike in price. So I would just recommend picking it up now while it is very low. Now for what everyone is here for, and that is Odion and Odion-related cards. The big one, is going to be Statue of Anguish Pattern. This card has 2 printings, both common, and they're like $4 a piece. That's crazy. It's a common. That being said, I do believe Odion is only playing one of this. So, you know, there is like the world where you don't technically have to buy multiple. I think Rabbit can just get this out. So it's like pseudo searchable essentially. It's a very strong card. For those who, again, don't know what this card does because it is an old card. Special summon this card is an effect monster. Rock, type, earth, level 7. Stats don't matter. This card is also still a trap card. While this card is an effect monster and you control another trap card that is a monster, this card cannot be targeted by opponent's card effects, meaning can't be targeted by imperm. This card cannot be targeted by... Oh, sorry, I read that. While this card is an effect monster, if a card that special summons from your spell trap zone as a monster, you can target one card on the field, destroy it. That is not once a turn. Odion summons a bajillion guys from the back row, so this is like a handful of pops. On top of the fact that Silhouette Rabbit has the ability to pop a spell and trap card when you summon from the back row. This card's just crazy. Like I said, this card actually saw like an immediate buyout when Odion was revealed. It has replenished stock, but now it's like $5 a copy. This card is pretty expensive now, but again, I think it's just a one-of. But this is a very good card. That being said, I don't see a reprint coming any soon. And can you imagine if this card was not common? Like if it was a secret rare or something, this would be like a $40 card now. All right, Odion cards, here we are. The first one being Treasure of the Kings. The big thing about the Odion cards is they got like 90% of the secret rare slots. And the other 10% were like Tachyon. And Tachyon, aside from 7 Tachyon, and I think the main deck monster, the big guy, not really much. They're just not really that great. But Treasure of the Kings, $10 card. I don't know ratios in that deck just yet, but if you want to pick up this deck, you're probably going to be paying about $100 for everything. It is a fairly good deck. It is a very good, like, I would argue, tier 1 contender. Like, this is a very strong deck, and it's really hard to interact with because they have the ability to just negate all your stuff, and they can chain to it. They have the Lord of Heavenly Prison, which we'll talk about in a moment, that pretty much makes it really difficult to just out their back row. So this is a very strong deck. And Treasure of the Kings, like, this is a $10 card. I could see a world where maybe it comes down like another buck after a little bit of hype has died down, but yeah, you're looking at some pricing. Anubis, the Last Judge, I believe is a 1 of, maybe a 2 of. This is again another. This is probably the most expensive ultra rare in the whole set. In general, like not just for the Apophis cards or the Odion cards. Like this is the most expensive ultra in the set, I'm pretty sure. And again, $15-16 card. And again, I think it's a 1 of because it's what you banish off of the Merciless Scorpion Circuit so that you can summon it and get like another search. This doesn't really do like that much in your hand. Like I've been told by some Odion players, like you don't really want to see this in the opening hand, especially if you're only playing one. But yeah, another $15. Man with the Mark, secret rare, $15. You're paying a pretty penny, $45 for a playset of this card. This is the most important card in the deck because without this man, you might not have any way to play. You might just be setting 5 and hoping that you don't die. This guy is very strong. Get some Temple of the Kings or the Field Spell, which can then just kind of spiral out of control from there. This card is very strong. This is a 3 of. You're paying $45. You can maybe get like a good deal for like 40, $38. But this very pricey. Apophis, the Serpent, another ultra rare in the set. I think Odion players told me this is a 1 or a 2 of, and it comes down to preference. Because mainly you're setting this off of the field spell, and then you're going to use the actual Temple of the Kings to let you activate this so you can get Apophis, the swamp deity, in the back row. But overall, like, you just don't want to see this like in the opening hand is what Odion players have told me. And again, it's a 1 or a 2 of. It's personal preference in that, but they would never recommend a 3 of is what they were telling me. So, anywhere from 10, 11, 12-ish dollars, give or take, if you're buying 2. I would say buy 2 just in case, and then like toy with ratio from there. Silo Hat Rabbit is seeing a rise yet again. Snake Eyes, after Snake Eyes, this kind of died down, and I was telling people like, pick this up now because Silo Hat Rabbit was not done with his tyranny. Still a very strong card. We're not going to talk about the ultimate rare. I don't like talking about max rarity here on the Market Watch because I don't like when other Market Watches do it. I think unless the only like talkable version of the card is max rarity, there's no reason to talk about it because, most Yu-Gi-Oh players are not buying max rarity cards. We're just looking to get the card. So Silo Hat Rabbit being a secret rare at its lowest rarity currently, you're looking at $20. $20 a copy. This card has skyrocketed. I can't remember if this was how much it was during Snake Eye format. Did it reach 30 in Snake Eye format? I can't remember. This card was pretty pricey in that format. We were setting the Angel Statue Azaroon, but this can set just any name in the Odion deck. This is just summons a continuous trap that summons itself as a monster, and that's every trap in the Odion deck. So obviously, it's good. And we're not done talking about good Odion cards. Gallon Granite. No, we're not searching Nibiru off of this. We are searching Lord of the Heavenly Prison off of this. So, Lord, I believe, is a 1 of in the deck because they have so many ways to get to it. Man and the Apophis Serpent are level 4, so you can overlay that into Gallic Granite. Use Gallic Granite to search the Lord of the Heavenly Prison, so that way you can make your back row just untouchable. Very strong card, and this card I don't think has seen like a skyrocket in price in a hot minute. The secret rare, you're looking at about $5. The ultra rare is pretty much $5 as well. It's $5 kind of all around. Very strong card, and yeah, if you, like I said, if you want to play Odion, you're forking over about as much as you'd fork over for the the Ryzeal deck, and Ryzeal is a better deck. I won't lie. And then we have Lord of the Heavenly Prison. This is the last card I want to talk about. We are talking about max rarity. I know I don't like talking about max rarity. However, this is the only one we're talking about. Lord was reprinted in the quarter century Bonanza. And so because of that, every rarity under the sun is like 20 cents. But if you want to pick up a max rarity copy, honestly, not bad. Like I said, Lord is, I believe, a 1 of because he's searchable in the deck. I think some people are playing it at 2 or 3. I think it comes down to personal preference and like where you want your deck count wise. But again, $11 for QCR, that ain't bad. There are some QCRs in the game right now that are worth a lot more than that. And that's really it for today's Market Watch. This was a little shorter than last week's, and they're probably not going to be super long going into future weeks because we are making this a weekly Tuesday thing going forward. But yeah, let me know what you all think down in the comment section below. Let me know what I should talk about in next week's Market Watch. And also, again, if you're looking to play Ryzeal or Maliss, I think right now is the perfect time to pick these cards up because I think this is the cheapest they're going to be for a long time. There's no way these decks get killed on the ban list as much as people are calling for their heads. There's just no way. No way in hell. Konami's still pumping out support, so these decks are going to remain where they are at, being like the top 2 dominant forces. So yeah, now is like the time to pick them up. But don't forget to leave a like on this video. Also, if you're not already like competitive based content or in-depth guides or market watches, consider subscribing to the channel. But with that, I'll see you all in the next video. See ya.